Right, we talked about some trees in the read this morning and we ran out of time. So I've decided to let you know what the meanings are. I mistakenly said the beech was Beth. It isn't, is it? It's birch that's Beth. The beech tree is not actually mentioned in the Ogham. Beech groves have been found in near important places of power. Avebury and Cairn Abbas, to name two. They may have been used for food as their majestic presence. They have been said to have inspired the buildings of cathedrals. The high vault arches mimic the high arching branches of the beech grove. Beech is thought of as the mother of the woods, which would fit with the mother energy that was in the cards today. It's the beech queen who was consort to the oak king. So we've got oak mentioned now, which is Taurus. Beech is known for her generosity of spirit. She gives both protection and nourishment. She fans her branches out into broad canopies that is useful shelter for her beech nuts, used to be valuable food source. So remember that. People once relied upon her beech nuts to keep themselves from starvation, and collecting them helped strengthen the bonds between the community or clans. Beech was also used as a good luck charm, and pieces of it were thought to bring good fortune to the wearer. Many legends talk of serpents, and we talked of the snake today, didn't we? And beech trees, and the poet Tennyson referred to the serpent-rooted beech tree. Good examples of such are to be found at Avebury. Sheridan, as Henwen, the great white ancient sow, was said to possess great wisdom. So we know that the pig is connected to Venus, again, the mother energy. The druid symbolised ancient knowledge and tradition. Philip and Stephanie, Cargon, druid animal oracle. So the name Philip and Stephanie could be important. In Greek legend, Helen of Troy was supposed to have carved her lover's name upon a beech, so the name Helen could be important, as many other lovers had done before. Jason built the Arga with the beech, so again, Jason referred to the oak. The Irish god Ogham, a leading warrior of the Tatha Dé Danann, who was credited with the writings of the Ogham alphabet, wrote upon the beech. So it is actually wrote on the beech, so it's not one of the runes. The ruling planet is Saturn or Kronos, the father that ate his children. Gaelic Irish name Phagos. Beech is linked with time, wisdom and knowledge, but especially written wisdom, as the beech was used in thin slices to write upon and form the very first books. This is corroborated by the fact that beeches are called book by the Anglo-Saxons, which later became book. So books and study could be important. Even today, the Swedish word book means both book and beech. And in German, Bauch means book and Busch means beech. Whatever material words were inscribed took on the power and magic of the gods. So if you write on them, a spell is cast, which is why the beech tree is held in such awe. Writing made knowledge manifest into the physical world and therefore allowed the wisdom to be passed on to future generations. Beech can help us make wishes by scratching your wish upon a piece of beech and then burying it. Say a simple spell or prayer as you are giving it back to the earth, and then it will begin to manifest in your life. If the Bach flower remedies, beech is used against mental rigidity, finding fault, intolerance, arrogance, all the things they ask us to let go, and lack of sympathy. Meditation with the beech helps us relax and let go of fixed ideas which hinders us on our development. The tree will help get in touch with our ancestors, their knowledge passed down through time, the deep wisdom within, which can help us to see ways forward for the future. So that fits today's read, doesn't it? And then we had the rowan mentioned, which is Aquarius. So rowan tree, 25. I always think of PC, rowan, and heartbeat, so it may be something to do with the heart. So Lewis, the name Lewis could be important also. The tree, the rowan, the quicken, or the quick beam. The second moon. The tip of the index finger, which is Capricorn. Lathe grey is the colour. The stone is yellow chrysolite, green beryl, and yellow topaz. The bird is the lac-ou duck. The goddess, Sequana, Brigid, and Bone. Symbols 3 phases of the goddess: white blossom, virgin, the maiden; red berries, menstruation, woman, the mother; and black bark, the old wise woman, the crone. The planet is Vesta, and I've heard a lot of the astrologers talk about Vesta. It's not a main player, but it does seem to have some power at the minute. A musical note of D. The message is vision and magic. So miracles we had, didn't we? The word Ogham is flame, herb, delight of the eye, sustenance of cattle. And the flower essence is clematis, which we had on the magician, and the elm. So, and we know the elm is the extra day of the year, don't we, February the 29th. Rowan is also called mountain ash and quicken. It's a small, delicate goddess tree found in the mountainous areas as well as gardens like elder. It is a witch tree and often planted as a guardian, showing its moon symbolism with creamy white flowers in spring and brilliant red berries in the fall. A traditional way of protecting a house or barn was to cut 2 twigs from a rowan tree you had never seen before, tie them in a cross with red wool, and weave it into a diamond shape between the forearms. Rowan wands are used not only in magic, but to drive horses and cattle, so those born in the year of the horse and the Taurus and the year of the ox, to ward off evil influences in the autumn. This elegant tree took most colourful with red and golden leaves. The ancient people called it Lewis. Also called delight of the eye, rowan is related to the power of the sun and the element of fire. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, which we had. Its powers are a healing, psychic power associated with success. Its colour is red, and its bird, the duck, known to sustain and extend life. Because the rowan gives special insight, it can be seen as a tree of protection against enchantments. It provides forewarning for things of which we may not be aware. Lewis tells us to look within and seek the insight necessary to overcome our problems. It lets us know that the inner vitality necessary to us is available. Lewis describes the vast sea of flooding, which he spoke about in the song, vitality waiting to be tapped. Know that there will be some flooding, but this state will only be temporary. Your challenge is to avoid being overly influenced by those forces outside yourself. O rowan tree, thou I, be dear to me. Entwined thou art with monetize a home and infancy. Thy leaves I the first of spring, thy flowers the summer pride. There was na sick a bonny tree in all the countryside, so there's never a more beautiful tree. O rowan tree, how far wert thou in summertime with cluster white? How rich and gay that autumn dress with berries red and bright. On the fair stem were many names which may I see, but they're engraven on my heart, forgot they ne'er can be. so you can't forget this. O rowan tree, we sat aneath thy spreading shade, the bairns around the ram. They pewed their bonny berries red, and necklace they strang. Me mither, oh, I see her still, she smiled our sports to see, with little Jeanie on her lap and Jamie on her knee. So the name Jeanie and Jamie, and happy memories of being with mother. O rowan tree, oh, there arose my father praise in holy evening calm. How sweet was thy then mother's voice in the martyr's psalm. So martyr again, I'll have to look that up now, martyr's psalm. Now again we meet near May, aneath the rowan tree, but hallow thoughts around thee twine, a home and infancy, a rowan tree. So childhood days and a happy home. The red berries of the rowan are the mountain ash were historically used to lure birds into traps. So you may be being trapped. Many ancient people had stories of floods in which water was both honoured as a life-bringer and the destroyer. So the transformation. Water was seen as something that escaped from the realms of the gods. In many of the stories, it seemed to be a female who was involved when water would move some distance, come to the land, bringing growth and abundance through turbulence. So something is going to make you grow, but it will be turbulent. Probably the most famous version of the myth in Celtic tradition is the Irish story of the Well of Siggeir. Growing around this well were 9 hazel trees. So hazel as a name could be important. And it is Col, Hazel. So the name Col and Hazel and Gemini energy, which is children, school days, communication. Whose nuts fell into the water and gave it the quality of divine illumination, like scrying. Much sought after by those seeking this wisdom, only the owner of this well and his 3 cupbearers were allowed to approach the well. Then the goddess Bone desired to drink from the well to increase her power. She came to it secretly, so something underhand. But the well exploded, flooding the land, flowing to the sea as a river. Later named Boyne, which has been thought to contain her spirit ever since. Through this story, rather than being the tragic victim, Boyne became the nurturing, life-enhancing goddess of the people. So through some trauma where someone was victimized or someone got hurt, they can now help to heal others. Ilmbolc incurs during the lunar cycles of the goddess. Brigid has been given honour at this time. So Brigid is the day that we set out on our journey with Facebook, so it's February the 1st, and Imbolc is February the 2nd. The conjunction of fire and water, so fire signs and water signs, which appear to be polar opposites, are actually the main symbols for fertility. The healing of Brigid kindles the fire in the earth, as well as being the life-giver power of the sun. But she also the one who sends the rivers and springs out to the land. Because of this, she is the mistress of fire and water. Bringer of fertility to the land, she is the fire in water. The fire symbolises of Imbolc is placed right in the middle of a time when we're surrounded by water in the form of great floods. So February time could be a time of flooding. This last long ending of winter is usually often a time of heavy rains and snow. Because the sun is beginning to offer longer periods of light and warmth, frost is no longer holding deeply in the soil, but is now melting and seeping into the earth, bringing texture to the land and getting it ready for the new growth soon to emerge. So we must get ready. This is the quickening that will soon give us the early signs of spring. And anyone who's ever been pregnant might know that the quickening is the 12th week of pregnancy, when the baby turns for the first time. For us, that meaning it is time to thaw out our spirits and warm ourselves, allowing a thaw from the winter's cold darkness and prepare for our own new growth. So in the movement of this cycle's energy, we first become aware of the growing water of emotion, feeling its pressure upon our quiet spirit so long in the dark. We find ourselves yearning to begin a time of conscious manifestation. Then at the full moon, we may allow the well of our emotions to spill over and observe how this loosens our hearts and spirits and brings us a period of fertile growth and possibility. It is time for us to thaw, release our spirits, and find new growth and exhilaration in fresh, life-bringing waters. So the full moon will be 31st. No way, we've got two full moons. That's very important in August. One on the 1st of August and one on the 31st. So that's what they're trying to tell us then, that period there between the full moons. All on a plain there stands a lake, a magic mirror doth it make, and gathered on a wintry night we may behold a wondrous sight. For in that lake reflected are the Lady Moon and Morning Star. Across the sky they journey on, and to her son she sings this song. Cradle in my loving arms, your dream unmarred by fear or harm. Swift be your ride to the heavenly boat, on the Milky Way we float. Where turns the crown of the northern winds, a silver island shall you find, and on that isle a castle white, wherein is peace and calm delight. Inside the castle silver walls, there stands the dark majestic halls, and in that hall a lady fair, the end of all desire is there. So slumber deep, thou heavenly twin, and so thy journey soon begin. For they who in love's flames will die shall rise again, I promise thee. So the phoenix rising, the judgment card. On the earth, in the air, through the fire and the water, I am breath, the rowan moon's daughter. So, why is the duck in the next place? Not hard. This is the month of floods, when the ducks swim over the meadows, and grey is the colour of the flood water of the rainy skies. Topaz is a colourless yellow, red-brown, light blue, pinkish red or pale green form of fluor-containing aluminium silicate. The colour are rarely vivid, and pink is the most valuable colour. Topaz has a hardness. Topaz is an empathic stone, its energy spread out like the warming rays of the sun, soothing and healing, giving life to all they encounter. The subtle rays of energy spread Topaz's gift of positive energy to all who need it. Topaz clears and heals your auric body, while it balances energy flows in your physical body. This can recharge and renew your energy levels, leaving you more motivated and better able to tackle life challenges. Topaz can also protect. It shields your auric energy from negative influences during periods of change. It is a good crystal for times of crisis or rapid life changes. I think I need to invest in some topaz. It allows you to tap into your own inner resources for the strength to complete the task at hand. The energy of topaz radiates outward in all directions, and this can teach you to allow your own visions to project in more than one direction. This is especially beneficial to those in the arts or sciences because it can help you to see solutions in unexpected places. Topaz soothes and calms the nervous system, making an excellent stone for relaxation and meditation. By neutralizing distracting influences, it can reduce stress and make you feel more at peace. Topaz can help you find the path to your goal. Its subtle energy can help you to pierce the gloom of uncertainty to illuminate the way to success. Physically, topaz is said to be beneficial to the nervous system and blood. It can also reduce the stress that is the root cause of many of mankind's ailments. Topaz is a good choice for those born on the zodiac sign of Aries, Leo, and Gemini. Water is the daily necessity for Earth's creatures. Sequina. When the continental Celts were looking for new homeland, they ventured west from the known river valleys of the great landmass we call Eurasia, just beyond the Great Mountains. The Alps, they discovered sweet and abundant water, fertile soil, expansive woodlands, and the plentiful fish, game, berries, grasses, fungi, and broadleaf plants necessary to support their tribe. We see the Celts originated in Alsace in northern France. We know they didn't spontaneously generate. Where and how they lived before that time and place are questions whose answers lie in prehistory. We do know that Celtic spirituality was, in its roots, animistic. Spirit was alive in every living thing. Non-anthropomorphic, the source of life and death was water, land, plant, and animal life. Tribe-specific, in France alone, there is evidence of several hundred deities, and in spirituality of place, of the major landforms that define the world: rivers, springs, forests, animals, heavenly bodies. To the extent that Celtic spirituality was theistic, the creator, sustainer, destroyer of life was typically a goddess. The Celts who settled at the source of the great river system defined their homeland and called the river Squan, a Celtic word describing the name of a snake. So the snake again. Squan then was the river and goddess. In my mind, she was Mother Snake, source of life, for her flowing waters sustained the tribe in the same way a mother's milk nurtured children through infancy and early childhood. So the children again. Sequana is the Latin word for Sienne, the most famous of the 5 principal rivers of France, and also for the Celtic Squan, mother goddess of the tribes of the Celts who lived on her shores and islands. She was river goddess, the living spirit of the land, Eau de Vie. The Seine runs from its source west of the Alps through the heart of Paris to its mouth at Le Havre, where it joins the English Channel in the waters of the Atlantic Ocean and the North and Irish Sea. In Celtic spirituality, the spirit of the land was often embodied in water, in springs, rivers, lakes, and later the sacred or holy wells. Sequana is both the surface and the underground waters of the Seine, and her tributaries are also all of the lands drained by them. She is a watershed deity, alive today in the network of watersheds in the Paris Basin and in the hearts of some of her people who remember. She is mother of the clan, Snake River, bestower of health. In her arms she carries the overflowing cornucopia of abundance, giving land. Her sacred animal was the duck. Water is a basic human fundamental right and public trust to be guarded by all levels of government. Therefore, it should not be commodified, and we know they've done it, don't we? Privatised or traded for commercial purpose. This right must be enshrined at all levels of government. In particular, an international treaty must ensure these principles are non-controvertible. Water is the best protected by local communities and citizens who must be respected as equal partners with governments in the protection and regulation of water. People of the earth are only a vehicle to promote earth democracy and save water. Water also figures highly in the pagan cluster Living River action during the protests. The Living River mission statement included: we say that our lives, our communities, the health of Earth's ecosystem, and the cultures of indigenous people, the dreams of the children are too important to be subsumed to profit. Another world is possible, a world of justice, of freedom, ecological balance, and true abundance. We will make it real, although the negotiators of the FTAA believe they have fenced out dissent. We believe they have welled themselves in. We intend to liberate them so that they can hear the voices of the people, the land, and the waters. So it sounds like trouble, doesn't it? Bridget is a goddess found in many mythologies, including those of Ireland, France, and Wales, because she exists in so many different cultures. So they may be telling us something bigger here globally. Ireland, France and Wales. Brigid is literally never-ending list of names. The names come from the Gaelic word Brio Segich. Her name means fiery arrow. Brigid is symbolised by fire, flames, the hearth. She is also symbolised by the water cauldrons, grain. Brigid wheels, Brigid bed. Creature, a white cow, so again, the Taurus or the ox, with red ears and a swan. And also by talisman, the spinning wheel. Brigid is the goddess of inspiration, smithcraft, and we talked about blacksmiths, and healing. Brigid oversees poets, poetry, creativity, prophecy, and the arts. In smithcraft, she oversees blacksmiths, goldsmiths, coppersmiths as well, because the copperman want it, household crafts, and in healing, Brigid looks after healers, medicine, spiritual healing, fertility, crops, land, and cattle. The best known as Brigid, another name for her is Sheridan. Sheridan is Brigid's name in Welsh folklore. Sheridan, that's the shit stirrer, the one with the pot. Do you remember? Sheridan holds an incredibly important role as a mythological and historical figure because she is said to be the mother of the famous Welsh poet Taliesin, who was also a magician. Although Sheridan and Brigid have separate histories, the only difference comes from the separate cultures. She is the Lady of the Shore. From the shore is one of the magical places between worlds, so it fascinated the Celts. He is in between places such as the shoreline, fjords, doorways, and so on, when neither one state nor another. The shore is neither dry land nor the sea, yet it is the meeting place of both. If we consider that land represents our solid material world, while the sea represents the great cosmic womb of all life that initiates sides of our nature, we can see that the shore is a meeting place between one world and another. So the beach, the shore, the coast. Brigid is also known as the two-faced one, so somebody may be lying. In the legend, she described as having one side of her face black and ugly, and the other white and beautiful. But we all have two sides to ourselves. The mystery of bride is to be found in the annual transformation of the Cailleach, the hag of winter, into the fair maiden of spring. Brigid is the goddess of the arts and crafts. She represents the potential for all women, for she is the eternal flame that burns in the hearts and hearth of every woman in the Gael. Moon-crowned Brigid of the undying flame. So it's your passion that cannot be dampened. We're going to run out of time again, aren't we? Brigid presides over the cradle of the newborn infant. It is a common practice for a woman of the Isles to hang a Roman cross over their cradles whilst reciting the charming prayer, Brigid, to invoke her protection. I went out to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head, and peeled a hazel wand, and hooked a berry to a thread. And when the white moths were on the wing, and the moths like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout, so going fishing. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow a fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering, through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she's gone, and kiss her lips and take her hand, and walk among the long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done, the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. Shelley. And a silver shape like his early love doth pass unborn by her wild glittering hair, and when he wakes on the fragrant grass, he finds night day. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thou full heart in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. Look, nymphs and shepherds, look, what sudden blaze of majesty is that we have hence decreed to divine to be mistook. This is she, to whom our vows and wishes bend. Here our solemn search hath end. Mark with radiant state she spreads in circle round her shrining throne, shooting her beams like a silver thread. This is she alone, sitting like a goddess bright in the centre of her light. So, the mother energy, the water energy, very important. I was going to pull an Ogham, but we run out of time again. I'm hoping that somewhere in that you will see the extra message for you. Names, places, global topics. So thanks for listening.